Today is January 20th, 2021. Coincidentally, this is Inauguration Day. A new administration has taken its oath of office and occupying Washington, D.C. But this presentation has nothing to do with that. My name is Charles Suter, and I'm presenting problem solving. In particular, I'm going to be discussing Catch-22 type problems. A Catch-22 problem, by definition, has no solution simply because the constraints to the ideal solution are too tight. Let me draw your attention to this diagram here. There are four quadrants. The quadrant that we're going to be discussing is this quadrant here where the constraints are very high, but the value of the solution, if a solution can be found, are also very high. However, the number of solutions is low. The Catch-22 problem lies right here. The highest constraints, the highest value, and the lowest number of solutions. So my main message here is Catch-22 problems are solved by relaxing constraints. You have to move off of the overly restrictive constraints to a point where you begin finding a few solutions. The arrow here represents probably the sweet spot, where there are enough possible solutions that with a little bit of decision making you can pick the best one. So, to review, a problem is an unmet goal or the existence of an undesirable state of reality without an immediate remedy or solution. Problems without solutions, because the constraints are simply too restrictive, are called Catch-22 problems. All Catch-22 problems can be resolved by relaxing some of the lesser important constraints that restrict practical and feasible solutions. The issue is which constraints to relax and how much to relax them. Problem solving is a process that brings clarity to a problem and provides sufficient insights to find reasonable solutions so that a process of decision making can be applied to choose the best value solution, a solution that retains the value of the goal and whose solution is feasible at a reasonable cost. Proposition 1. As I've said, a problem is a roadblock to a desired goal. A goal without a solution is a Catch-22 problem. And this type of problem is solvable only when there are possible solutions. A decision-making process is used to pick the best solution after the constraints have been relaxed sufficiently so that there are two or more options or alternatives to pick from. The key step of problem solving is identifying, first of all, the underlying situation or the roadblock to a goal. And then you need to define the boundary conditions of the problem, such as what is and what is not the problem or the roadblock. Finally, problem solving seeks to uncover the causes of the problem and ideally the fundamental or root cause of the identified problem. If there are no feasible solutions at this point for achieving the goal or desired end state, then problem solving must find some way to relax one or more of the constraints to find feasible solutions. Relaxing constraints slightly, resulting in only having a single alternative, may result in suboptimization, and you may want to relax the requirements a little bit more so that you have two or more alternatives to choose from. Once more than one alternative exists for achieving a goal, problem solving reverts to decision making for choosing the alternative that best achieves the goal quickly with the least cost and fewest unintended consequences. Proposition 2. A Catch-22 problem, as I've said before, has no solutions. The prerequisites to possible solutions are not present in the definition. So many times the problem needs to be redefined with different constraints. There are too many self-imposed constraints that block practical solutions. All known remedies do not resolve the undesirable elements of the problem. Therefore, there are no solutions. The situation needs to be redefined. A Catch-22 type of problem has no known solutions for removing a roadblock, at least in a way in which the goal is currently defined. The only way to solve a Catch-22 problem is to redefine it by relaxing constraints. An example of a Catch-22 problem is a circular argument. A job applicant cannot get a job without experience, but without a job, there's no way to get experience. Another example is self-confidence. A person without self-confidence suffers from a lack of positive experiences. But given a lack of self-confidence, a person is unlikely to try anything new, thus ensuring no positive experiences to build self-confidence. Proposition 3. Every problem is solvable, but only if burdensome constraints are relaxed. To solve a problem, relax constraints just enough to find some acceptable solutions. If the cost of the solutions are still too high, relax the constraints some more. What you're looking for are feasible solutions. Finding the right balance between goal constraints and solution costs is an art. The only way to resolve an insolvable problem is to redefine it so that it is solvable. This means changing the parameters, those constraints that defines the goal, to allow more solutions for removing any existing roadblocks. The more parameters that are relaxed, the greater the number of solutions that are available. However, the more parameters of the problems that are relaxed, the less valuable or desirable the goal or the end state. Problem solving always involves a trade-off between the value of the goal or the end state and the costliness of the solutions. They become progressively more available and less costly as the restrictions are relaxed. The problem solver must balance a loss of value due to the degradation of the goal with a gain in less costliness of the solutions for achieving each redefined goal. With no relaxation requirements, there are no solutions. As goal requirements are relaxed, there is a progressive loss in the value of the goal or end state. You have to balance good solutions with a slightly degrade in the value of a goal. My final message is that relax problem constraints and then find the best value solution. Solutions are found incrementally by relaxing parameter constraints, starting with the least important parameter so as to generate some practical solutions. Assess the cost of each solution versus the reduction in the value of the goal as each constraint is relaxed. The task of finding the best value solution versus the decrease in the value of the goal is the providence of decision making. That's all for now. Remember to stay positive. You'll be happier, healthier, and live longer.